Welcome to another episode of Core Discussions. My name's Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
I'm Jay.
All right, gentlemen, are you ready? No! I said, are you ready?
Hell yeah.
Yep.
I don't know where you find the energy these days to do that.
I just got it from deep within. Once it's go time, it's go time. You know? But as you know, we are doing another one of our fun WWE. Well, this one's wrestling, mostly focused on WWE. Top 20s list. All right. And this one, we chose to do one that we've been talking about for a while. It is none other than favorite wrestling men's rivalries. So we're just focusing on the male side. We will do the female side later on. And since there's so many great rivalries throughout the years, we couldn't limit it to just 10. Like we've been doing lately, we actually chose to do 20. And this is of all time. Most of it's going to be from the golden era onward, just because like early golden era, like most of us didn't watch it. So if you're looking for the Von Erichs or anything, I'm going to let you know it ain't on our list.
Yep. These are feuds we've seen.
So, gentlemen, let's start the list. Between the four of us, I had a total of 35 views that got a vote. So, we are going to start off with number 20. It came in with 12 points, was voted on by two people. This one is one of the more recent ones. This one actually main evented WrestleMania. This was originally supposed to just be a once in a lifetime, but they did it again. It is none other than The Rock versus John Cena. It was voted on by myself and Max.
Oh yeah, totally forgot about that.
It made my list. It was good stuff. It was great stuff. I love the back and forth, the Rock concerts and the John Cena rap-offs. You felt the tension. They really went at it. You know, you had two really good on the mic, really going back and forth. Though, don't like how it started, and Cena has since apologized, and they've rekindled and they're friends now, but I think it's also interesting this one started off something outside of WWE was something when John Cena made a comment about The Rock.
Yeah, John Cena made a comment saying that he didn't think The Rock was still a WWE guy because he's doing movies and he wasn't coming back to support the WWE. So, just funny now, John Cena is a movie star. So, I think he's like, Rock, I'm sorry. But this feud was so big, like you said, a main event in 2 WrestleManias, but not just that. After the first match, they already made a decision to go to that match again the next year. So they didn't care what else happened. They knew they were going to go back to that. So the whole year we had a build up just to that one match. When's the last time that's happened? Besides this most recent one where we knew Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns would do it again.
I will say, I was very surprised The Rock won the first match. Again, they say once in a lifetime. I assumed Cena was going to win.
I think after a while they knew they were going to do it again. That's why I think they had him win the first time.
I was really sure I thought it was once in a lifetime. They knew full well it was not going to be once in a lifetime.
This is just my speculation. It was initially Cena was going to win it. It was going to be a one-time thing. And then they were like, ooh, we could do this again. Let's have The Rock win it this time.
WrestleMania 28 had 1.3 million buys. Technically the most purchased wrestling event in history.
Still?
Yeah, probably still, because who buys pay-per-views anymore?
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Because everybody just has the network now.
I'm sure if WrestleMania 40 was a pay-per-view and there was no network, I'm sure maybe.
Yeah, because we knew it. Even 27, that kind of hurt 27's main event because we all knew what they were alluding to, and even having The Rock host. And this was the first time in a while that you were getting, once again, the two faces of the company fighting each other. This magnitude of two faces fighting each other, probably since Hogan Rock.
Yeah, and not only that, you got arguably two people that could be on the WWE Mount Rushmore fighting in the match.
Mm-hmm. And it was cool. And then the second time was for the title, so that was even good with the Royal Rumble, him winning the Rumble. You knew Cena was going to win, but still great build-up, great match.
Well, I think what made this feud stand out to me was that you have two passionate fan bases. You got the Rock fan base, you got the Cena fan base, but not only that with Cena, you get the people who hate Cena too. So they are going to hitch the wagon to the Rock. So it was fun to see the two sides kind of go back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. As you can tell, this group had some arguments about it. Mainly, you can know everybody was against me because I'm the big Cena fan, and I was pulling against the Rock. I wanted Cena to win, obviously. That's my boy.
I was elated the Rock won.
I thought Cena was going to win, but then I remember remember the first one. This is back when Machine Gun Kelly, he introduced John Cena. I remember when he said something about Cena being the underdog, I started thinking, I was like, Cena might lose this.
When MGK said that shit, dude, it pissed me off. I was like, underdog? Since when? And you don't want MGK coming out with you. I think every time he's come out with somebody, that person lost. It just happened to Logan Paul.
It's a red herring, so I see it. That person's losing.
But best match to me, obviously the first one, The Rock won.
I like the first one better too, and because The Rock got hurt early in the second match.
I like the second one better. Obvious reasons I like the second one better. I will say the better match was the first one because it was more up in the air. Whereas the second one, you knew Cena was winning. All right, so we're gonna go into our number 19. It's the only one that only one person voted for. This one is gonna go to WCW. It is none other than two big icons. It is none other than Ric Flair / the Four Horsemen versus Sting, and it was voted solely on by Vitamin J.
I haven't seen most of their matches yet.
Great rivalry. And it's so long. They basically were rivals from 1988 all the way to the end of Nitro. They keep crossing paths.
We've had multiple times Ric Flair's turned on Sting. I know.
It's a great feud. I mean, a lot of their matches are very similar, but it's enjoyable, It's like comfort food.
You know you liked it once, you know you always like it again.
Exactly. But no, it's definitely a rivalry worth checking out. You can watch most of it on YouTube.
Would you say the low point would be the Black Scorpion?
Yes, the Black Scorpion. Yes, because everybody knew it was Ric Flair. And then if you watch the match where they have Sting versus the Black Scorpion, Ric Flair is so handicapped because he has to not try to wrestle like Ric Flair, which is very hard for him to do. It's a great rivalry. It's definitely worth checking out. It's very long though, so it's not something you can watch in an hour. Best match would be Clash of Champions 1. I tried to stick to singles matches instead of multi-man. And then of course, it's such a great rivalry. It was also the last match of WCW had.
Did they run it back in TNA?
Yes, I believe they did.
Just comes off back full circle.
Pretty much 95% of the time Sting won.
Fair enough.
To anyone online that's going to be upset, the low ranking again, 3 of the 4 here have not seen most of this feud, so.
Yeah.
Max will watch it 90s, but he's like, something about the 80s scares him. Max will see 89, he's like, oh, I don't know.
As I say, a lot of us, as you can see, Vitamin J has watched 80s, Max will only start 90s, D3 and I started later into the 90s, so you're not really
late 90s, 2000.
It is what it is.
It's good.
All right, the next rivalry we're going to talk about came in third place, was voted on by 2 people, coming in with 16 points. This one was actually a really good feud. Of all the rivalries, this was probably just some of the better technicians. It was Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle.
How the hell is this so low?
Oh,
You know how easy it is to get to 20 good rivalries? And there are so many good rivalries that left on the cutting room floor.
So you're admitting right here, it was not on your list.
It's not on my list. Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle? No.
It was only you and D3, and D3 put it at his 20th spot. I haven't really watched this as much as the others.
Do you know where I rank this? 6.
That's entirely too high. That's entirely too high.
No, it's not.
I like the competition they had, especially the drinking milk and stuff. I mean, obviously a great WrestleMania match, even with the Brock Lesnar injury.
Well, it's not just that. We got 3 terrific matches from these two in the year 2003. We got the SmackDown Iron Man match with the WrestleMania match and their match at SummerSlam. 3 fantastic matches.
We sure did.
But this is an Olympic gold medalist and a collegiate wrestling champion going at it. They had nothing but banger matches. This is just based on match quality for me, and I do like Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle a lot, so that helps too. But every time they got in there, nothing but
banger after banger after banger.
I'm just kind of surprised.
What's the best match?
What's the best match?
The WrestleMania.
Yeah, probably. I'm torn between that and the Iron Man match.
The Iron Man match is really good.
I'm honestly kind of surprised it just didn't make most of y'all's list.
Sorry.
I mean, it's okay, but I'm just kind of surprised.
I'm not sorry. It is what it is. Lesnar will not be on my list.
You have such a vendetta.
All right, we're going to go into our number 17. It came in with 18 points. This is a more recent rivalry. This one had a lot of heat because at the time, people were arguing who should have been the face of the company. This was one that I felt was casuals versus IWC. It was the younger versus the older crowd. This had a lot of heat, especially in the mid-2010s. It was Cena versus CM Punk. I had a real high. I had it at 8th.
I
really like
16. Great rivalry.
If I was going to put a CM Punk rivalry on there, I'm waiting to see how this Drew McIntyre finishes out. If that finishes off with a bang, then that'll be in my top 20. But, I got to wait.
I like this one, especially because you had the whole thing with Money in the Bank. His contract dispute is CM Punk going to leave? Like, we knew he was going to sign, but, you know, it really was a question of whether he was going to leave at one point. And I felt like you had two very distinct factions of people, especially because Cena was very controversial. Well, not controversial as a person, but controversially liked. Of people hated him or liked him. And same with CM Punk being very controversial, just the way he was. A lot of people argued CM Punk should have been the face of the company at that time. I still disagree, but
there's no way you're going to make CM Punk the star of your company. He is not. He can't. His personality wouldn't have allowed it. John Cena was the perfect man. He was willing to do all the press stuff. John Cena would do everything you want him to do. CM Punk, no.
It wouldn't have made sense, but at the time, people felt like, because this is also Super Cena, especially after the pipe bomb, people were tired of Cena being put, but there was a lot of, like, you had two people that were going at it, as well as you had two fan bases that were really, you know, you had John Cena, who was kind of, at this time, he was the face.
The Yankees.
And everything. That was actually pretty good when he said that.
John Cena was like, how dare you?
I know. I was like, he is right. He is the Yankees.
I mean, they feuded before the pipe bomb, but the pipe bomb really, you know, put it to the upper crust, and then the rivalry and match is like, oh, is CM Punk going to leave with the title or not? And, you know, surprisingly enough, he did. So you're like, what? So he left with the title. Now, I wish WWE was able to hold out longer. CM Punk was gone for like a week before coming back. I wish they had waited at least a month.
CM Punk literally signed that like hours before Money in the Bank. He signed his contract.
But yeah, they had great matches. They also had a great match on Raw. If CM Punk won, he would have been added to the match, I think. Because that would have been a pretty interesting triple threat. CM Punk, John Cena, Rock.
They even busted out a power driver. You didn't see that often.
It was really good.
Now, for best match, I'm going to have to go Money in the Bank 2011.
Probably go Money in the Bank just because the Chicago, the crowd atmosphere adds to it.
Storyline and everything. It's just,
Build was great.
After he beat Cena, for me, that did show to me that he was a main event guy. Because before then, I still was like, not really feeling it. Like, I didn't think WWE would actually go there, but I was like, oh, they must be all in if they think he's going to beat Cena.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go into our next one. We're going to go into our number 16. It was voted on by two people, coming in with 22 points. I will say this rivalry was a little hurt because I hadn't fully come back into wrestling at this point, but probably had I probably would have put this because this was a really good one. It was a friendship, a brotherhood, a rivalry. It started with one of the craziest twist that we did not see coming. It is none other than Triple H versus HBK.
That's fantastic.
You know what? I never forgot a feud, and that's one of them.
What's interesting about the feud is that, they are both two former leaders of DX. So it's always, before they feuded the first time, you're like, I wonder who's better now, because Triple H did a lot after HBK left. So now you're like, could Triple H beat Shawn Michaels?
And the way they started the feud with the DX reunion. And that was around the time we came back into wrestling.
One match we saw them, Shawn Michaels hit the sweet chin music and pin Triple H, but his shoulders were also on the ground, so they gave it a tie. And we were so disappointed. Because I think only opponent liked Triple H at that time.
Yeah, I like him a lot now.
Yeah, I think also it's great because, again, like you guys said, it's not just they were leader of the DX, it's also the fact there was the friendship they had. So it's always interesting when they have those kind of moments of these guys used to be best friends and all this stuff, but now they're feuding with each other. So
I think what made it even more shocking is HBK was retired for 4 years, and he came back, and his first big feud is Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the head of the NXT versus the head of the WWE now. So, just think about that, too.
Great promos, too. Great vignettes they had to hype the matchup.
Favorite match of the two for me would be the Three Stages of Hell.
I liked the Hell in a Cell.
It was good Elimination Chamber because Shawn Michaels won the belt.
I'm always a fan of Three Stages of Hell. It's one of the few matches that they don't do anymore that I wish they would bring back. You just gotta do one time. All right, let's go into our next one. There was a two-way tie in 14th spot. The first one we're going to talk about came in with 24 points, was voted on by two people. This one is one that has had 3 WrestleMania matches. Their final match was huge. It is none other than Triple H versus Undertaker. It was voted on by myself and Vitamin J. I ranked it higher than you. I really like this because I think their first one at WrestleMania was good, which is what I was talking about. Triple H was calling out and saying, I've beaten all your stars. I've beaten The Rock. I've beaten Stone Cold. Then Undertaker came out when he was still the American Badass. Was like, well, you never beaten me. I think this one elevated once they came back to it in the back-to-back WrestleManias, though Undertaker won all 3 of these matches. But at the time when we've talked about it before, this was kind of an end of an era because these were the last of the Attitude. feud guys and most of the wrestlers around them had already stopped wrestling. And the fact of how you had all the passion and everything of the first one, Undertaker barely beat Triple H, and Undertaker wanted to fight him again because he barely beat Triple H and it didn't sit right with him. And kind of how Triple H kept saying, nah, I don't want to fight you. I have nothing to prove. And ultimately going to the WrestleMania 20 and how they pushed all two big stars going against each other.
I liked it when they did it. Triple H was like, I got nothing to prove against you, because that was the opposite of Undertaker Shawn Michaels, where Shawn Michaels wanted to match it. Undertaker was like, nah, I got nothing to prove to you since I beat you the first time. So that 4-year storyline between Undertaker, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels is some of the best storytelling WWE's ever done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
These two are so good. The Undertaker came back, and then Triple H interrupted his return, and they both didn't say a word. All they did was look at the WrestleMania sign, and we knew it was on. We didn't need to say one word.
That's what aura is. And also, the match at 28 has one of the greatest kickouts in my opinion, history with the Shawn Michaels pedigree combo. Because I don't think anyone has before or after kicked out of that. I'm not sure. That was the closest time that I thought the streak was going to end before the streak actually ended.
That was the closest time, yeah. I thought for a second, I was like, oh, shoot, they're going to do 19-1. We're really doing this. I don't think this is really controversial at all, but peak Undertaker, because I feel a lot of his better wrestled matches were kind of later, later in his career, 2000s. This was still like peak wrestling of like, he still got it. This is a huge match. Even with Triple H, HBK, and Undertaker all walking out together, it was a very iconic moment.
My favorite match, I'd probably pick 28, though. It'd be 28, then 17, and then 27.
I think 28, the setup of like he wanted it again, and then how he had to push to be like, no, I want this match again one more time.
We want to talk about the last time Triple H and Undertaker came into the ring together.
That happened. It was a Saudi show. We don't count it.
Yeah, it was a house show.
Let's go into our 14th. What was tied with it? It comes in with 24 points, was voted on by 3 people, and these two had many clashes, especially because one was usually a face, the other one was usually a heel. They both had some great runs, and they both now are ranked in highest of world championships. It is none other than John Cena versus Randy Orton.
So I didn't have this too high. I ranked it 19, and I think it's because they've had some decent feuds, but they never had that one feud that was like all time between the two. So I think that may water it down a little bit, and they've wrestled so many times. So it's kind of like we've seen it a billion times. We don't need to see it again.
Didn't make the list.
Fair enough. I liked it because they both came through OVW. They both came in through that ruthless aggression class. And you had Cena, who was the babyface, Randy Orton, who was constantly the heel. They both were huge rising stars at their moment. It's actually funny because when they both really kind of went solo, started their solo careers, Randy Orton was the one who was the face, though it didn't work, and Cena was the one who was the heel. And then they ended up switching. But I think just when you talk about longevity, you talk about titles, they both have a lot of world titles. They both at times were the main guys on their shows that over and over. It was still a good match. Yeah, I would say unlike some where you can really point to a feud and be like, this is where it was great. I still think these two like still did good work, and especially because they were so different, it really was easy to write the script.
Someone has done the numbers. If you count house shows, Orton and Cena have faced off 261 times.
I wonder how many of those are on TV. Probably about 80, maybe.
Yeah, Orton has 44 victories.
I'm not surprised.
Now, I will say, for Cena's retirement tour, he has to face Orton.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah, it has to be a final match or WrestleMania. Apparently, they never had a one-on-one match at WrestleMania.
It's one of the big ones. They'll do it one more time, and I mean, they have immense respect for each other.
I'm trying to think of a best match.
See, that's another reason I didn't rank it so high, because I don't know that they ever had a great match together. Again, like their feud overall, they've had some good matches, but nothing that would be like, I'm like, damn, I need to see this again.
So I like TLC as well as Bragging Rights Iron Man as well. 2009 Iron Man.
Yeah, I'd probably say the Hell in a Cell match. I got to rewatch a lot of those.
Yeah. They did have also an I Quit match that people rank highly, but the I Quit match, you kind of knew Cena was winning because that was always his gimmick, is he will never quit.
I also love the match where Orton slapped the ref to get DQ'd on purpose.
That was smart. I haven't seen many matches where the wrestler intentions like, you know what, I'm not going to win this. Slap.
All right, we're going to go into our next one. This was voted on by everybody but myself, coming in at 13 with 29 points. There was a lot of tension, a lot of heat. Blood was spilled on the ground between these two. Nothing was held back as the audience constantly cheered for this underdog. It is none other than Triple H versus Mick Foley with 29 points.
Oh, dog, you're missing out on Triple H Mick Foley. They never had a bad
That's
feud.
great, yeah. Every time they feuded, it's good.
Even when Triple H was not the version of Triple H we like now, he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He had a feud with Mankind, and it's good.
Yeah, 97 feud's really good so far. And of course, you get the later Attitude Era where he retires Mick Foley.
When he comes in there, it's like, Mankind cannot beat you, Triple H. And he's like, but I know someone who can. He goes by the name of Cactus Jack, and you just see Triple H's face go from like, yeah, you can't beat me. Then he sees it's Cactus Jack, and he's like, oh, like his acting at that was like, oh crap, oh no.
Foley's even done interviews where he's praised Triple H for that reaction because he said that made him. Because if Triple H had made the face that John Cena did a lot, where he just didn't take anything seriously, it wouldn't have had an effect. And that's one thing I criticize John Cena for a lot of times. But Triple H doing it there, he said, made the Cactus Jack return special.
It absolutely did. I mean, think about it. If you've never seen it, let's say it's your first time watching it, you would be like, holy shit, this guy must be bad news. But that feud they had in 2000 when they had the No Way Out match and the Royal Rumble match between the two, those were fantastic. And Mick Foley was huge in putting Triple H over as, not that silver spoon Connecticut guy. His feuds with Mick Foley really showed that he was more sadistic. He could be evil in a way. He'll do whatever it takes to win. So I think without Mick, Triple H would have a much harder time going to where he went. From the very get-go, they've always had good matches. I don't know if the first time they ever wrestled was this match, but 1997, King of the Ring, from that point forward, every time they had a match, it was always good.
Best match, I'd probably go Royal Rumble 2000.
And I will say, mine was probably the Hell in the Cell, No Way Out.
I think I'll go Street Fight.
The little thing of him coming back of I'm Cactus Jack, and still he couldn't. And I think this is interesting because he did the stuff with Mick Foley, it really helped with him and the next feud he goes into with The Rock.
Yep. Triple H doesn't get a lot of credit for his wrestling, but he can put on a good match with anybody.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good matches.
I think as he goes further on, people will like him a little bit more as you get further away, especially since he's now doing so great of a job creative. I think some of the younger will go back and watch it and be like, oh, okay, he was actually really good. D3, what was your favorite match?
Hell in the Cell, the Hell in the Cell match part 4.
All right. We're going to go into our next one. This is also a feud that some of the stuff you cannot say today because you would get canceled so quickly, but there was a lot of blood on the ring. They had probably one of the most legendary match types of this one. It is none other than coming with 30 points. At number 12, it is Eddie Guerrero versus JBL. It was voted on by everybody.
Solidified JBL's heel turn. Solidified.
Yeah, I didn't buy JBL as a main eventer at all. This was a great rivalry.
The border stuff. This dude did everything.
Yeah, it's like, nowadays they would not be able to say this stuff.
No.
At the time, it was great, and even just like funny, his comment about the inner tubes. My answers just came over on boats. Yours floated over here on inner tubes. Like, that was a line Eddie Guerrero told JBL to say, and literally the cops afterwards had to tell JBL, yeah, you're not welcome back here because we're not sure we can protect you if you ever come back here again. And JBL really gave Eddie Guerrero a lot of things. Back when they used to do that SmackDown after show, when JBL was inducted, he gave Eddie Guerrero a lot of thanks and really said he was a huge reason why he became a Hall of Famer, and that feud was really what set him up to be one of the best.
If Eddie didn't want to put him over, they would have killed the character. JBL would just be nothing. And Eddie was smart enough to see that, I need to get this guy over. So if I want to make this rivalry any good, I got to make sure he matters. And Eddie Guerrero sure did.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he had to bleed everywhere like he did.
It's for the love of the game, Bobby.
I don't love the game that much. We're bleeding like that.
Oh, you're not Eddie Guerrero or JBL, are you?
Sure as hell I'm not.
But another reason JBL was able to get over as a heel was because everybody loved Eddie. So Eddie already had established I'm like pretty much one of the ultimate baby faces at that time. So that made JBL, when he won and got the title off of Eddie Guerrero, you're like, oh, this I want Eddie to get back at him.
Very much so. You wanted him to lose it so bad. And it started one of, at the time, the longest runs with the WWE title because he held it for 9 months. And yes, we can go into match. Obviously, mine is the Texas Bull Rope match.
I haven't seen all the Bull Rope matches in history, but to me, that's the favorite one that I've seen. That's the best one.
I feel, especially nowadays, that's one of the most famous ones. Especially with our generation now, that's going to be one of the famous ones. You remember all the blood. Even when we rewatched it, all the blood. Oh man, they put everything on the line.
Yeah, that was a great ending. My favorite match was the Judgment Day one where Eddie got disqualified.
Very well done. All right, we're going to our next one. It was voted on by everybody but me. Came in with 32 points. This is also one that has caused locker rooms to be cleared out. It was a big superpower going against one of the beloved faces of the company. Coming from WCW, Hollywood Hogan / NWO versus The Stinger.
I had like
Yeah,
number
so-
6.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were going to allow that one, so let me put it at the end because that was not one person, you know.
But Sting's whole beef was basically with one person.
Yeah, my bad.
It's in my top 10.
But the year-long or year and a half build-up to that big match at Starrcade between Hogan and Sting is some of the best long-term stories in wrestling history. I mean, every time Sting showed up, the crowd lost their damn minds.
That went nuts.
This put Sting over so much, and he didn't have to say a word, and he didn't have any matches. I mean, that's crazy to think that they were able to do that.
And then the ref blew it at the match. But come on now.
I don't know. You guys haven't gotten there in your rewatch, so I will judge you when I hear the rewatch.
We're getting there. But yeah, it's just such a great story. That's why I got put up there. I mean, as far as best matches, I mean, I don't know if they ever had one that's like an all-time classic, but the Starrcade that Sting won would be it just because everybody wanted him to win. It's a huge moment.
The best moment to me is when Sting attacks the NWO, because then that's the crowd was electric.
Which time? The first, that was a big moment where Sting officially was like, not.
Yeah, when Sting officially declared war on the NWO.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime he comes down, the crowd loses their damn minds.
Well, he's an icon. It's a shame he retired in AEW.
It is what it is. But yeah, Phil, maybe sometime you should check it out. The build, you could change your mind.
I'll see what you guys say on it, and then I'll see it. Is it worth my time? And you got the botch finish. That do I really want to watch this botch finish?
Come on, man, give it a
And
shot. But yeah, no, but it's just really good, really iconic, Phil. Come on.
The only thing that irritated me about Triple H versus Sting was when the NWO came out to help Sting. I'm like, if it was Kevin Nash because the Wolfpack, they came out Wolfpack, that's one thing. Yeah, classic NWO, nah.
Yeah, but most of the people who are, a lot of them are going to be a lot of casuals that are like, they don't remember all of it. They're like, oh, NWO's here. But the announcers did also address who are NWO out here to help. So they did bring that up, and still a great moment.